we're back and we're ready. So go ahead and share the link so that if you know somebody needs to get this information, they can join. If you are interested to learn about the H2B process, and many of you are like, I've never heard of the H2B. I've heard of H1B, but never the H2B process. So what is it? Well, today we have with us Taja, or Taja.
Yeah, Taja.
I'm not saying it. Who will be coming to share with us the H2B process. So if you're a skilled or unskilled worker and you would like to learn about another visa type that you can come to the United States on, then definitely you want to be on this live. Again, skilled and unskilled employers. If you are interested in learning about a new visa type that you can come to the United States on, then this live is for you. We have somebody who's experienced in working on H2B visas, and she will be sharing her journey and her experience, as well as her platforms, where she also shared these invaluable information about how you too can get a job in the United States on an H2B visa. Thank you, Bravarina. I hope I'm saying it properly. Thank you. Good. So, as I said before, if you are interested, if you were on earlier, or if you know somebody who was on earlier and they missed the live, go ahead and let them know we're back on and we're ready to start this live to share the H2B process. Thank you. All right, good. So we are live on YouTube, Facebook, IG, as well as on TikTok. And Taja is also live on her platform, Inspired by Taja on YouTube. So guys, there are so many platforms you can watch from. There's no reason why you should not be watching the live today. Let me check on my viewers on IG. Thanks for joining, guys. We have with us Taja, who's going to be sharing with us her experience and how you can get that same experience to work in the United States on a H2B visa. So if you're a skilled or unskilled worker, this one is for you. Definitely for you. All right? So before we start, you know I like to start this way, guys. Go ahead and put in the comment section where you're watching from. Go ahead and put in the comment section where you're watching from so we can shout out to different countries who are online this evening. Put in the comment section where you're watching from.
Hi, guys.
Alright, so we have Victory who's watching from Nigeria. Welcome, Nigeria, in the house, guys. We have King Felix who's watching from Ghana on Facebook. And he's also, yes, I'm seeing him here. Jay Chantal who's watching from Barbados. We have the Rocky from Jamaica, Success Links from Manchester, Jamaica. Jamaica in the house, guys. We have Adam. Look, I cannot pronounce your name, but you're in Buckeye, Arizona. Thanks for joining. So we have different countries represented, and we're going to be starting soon. I know I have fantastic
Why am I not hearing? Hold on, guys. Guys, please don't call me. Hi, everyone. Guys, just give me a second.
You don't know what the requirements are. You'd like somebody to guide you throughout the process, then you definitely need to be a subscriber on my YouTube channel, Kicking with Dr. Britton, or you can follow me on IG or on TikTok. Definitely, you get a bigger bang for your money if you follow on YouTube, as I provide a lot of step-by-step videos that provide guidance on how you can get a teaching job in the United States. So definitely, guys, if that's what you're interested in, you can definitely be a subscriber and learn a lot. I'm telling you, a lot of people watch my channel and have gotten teaching jobs here in the United States. So you know what you need. But today we have with us Teja, and she's going to be talking about the H2B visa, and that visa is for skilled and unskilled workers. So we're going to go straight into it. We're not going to waste any more time. Let's welcome Teja. Is she there?
Are you hearing me?
I'm not seeing her.
I'm not seeing myself.
For a few minutes. So, in the meantime, what is going to happen today is we're going to be asking.
Guys, I'm having a little bit of issue. I got a call and then I'm not able to see myself when I join. I guess it's interfering with.
And provide questions that you have for Teja. So she's back, she's ready, and we're going to welcome her today, guys. So, yes, Teja, welcome to today's live. We are very happy to have you.
Happy to be here.
Awesome, good. Guys, good, and welcome Teja in the comment section, because she's going to be dropping a lot of nuggets today, and I'm sure. Go ahead and get your pencils and your notepads if you
Right.
those, so you can take notes. Okay, get your notepads and your pencils so you can take notes. All right, so we're going to get straight into it, Teja. Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Tasia Lee, but I go by Tasia, and I hope everyone is hearing me. So I go by Tasia, and I've been on the H2B program for a couple years, and I'm just someone who I spread awareness about the H2B program because it's always so hard for persons to get the information and to know how to. So I spread awareness. I have a YouTube channel where I provide tips. I have videos explaining the process. And yeah, that's all about me.
Your YouTube channel, can you tell us the name of your YouTube channel so I can put it in the comment section so people can go and check your channel out after this live?
Sure, it's inspired by Tasia, and Tasia is spelled Taja.
And no underscore, nothing?
No.
But that, I know on IG you may have an underscore.
Yeah, IG, but for YouTube is inspired space by space Tasia.
Okay, good. So guys, if you are interested, you're definitely going to want to need to follow Taja for more information after you've learned all that she's going to be sharing with us today. So we're going to go straight into the question and answer section. And as I said at the end, you guys will get a chance to ask questions if we missed something. All right, Taja, can you tell us what is the H2B visa?
So the H2B visa is an unskilled visa where persons can come to the United States and work. It's a non-immigrant visa, and they come here to perform temporary work under this visa.
Okay, good. can come on this visa to some of the unskilled areas that people can actually get this visa to come and work in the United States. And you did say temporary.
Right.
How temporary is temporary? Can you give us a time frame?
Sure. So it can range from 0 to 6 months. You have it goes up until 8 months as well. And I think you have also 10-month contracts as well. It just depends
Okay.
on the need of that employer.
And what are some of the areas that you can get at this visa to come and work in the United States? What are the unskilled areas that they can actually come to work in the United States on this H2B visa?
It's a lot of areas, mostly hospitality, but I think it broadens over time. So you have like housekeeping, front of house, back of house, which can include front desk, um, serving, cooks, dishwashers. You even have golf maintenance, landscape workers, um, maintenance technicians. You have laundry workers, housekeepers, and many more. It's a broad category.
So, is it safe? You say it's temporary and you say it's skilled based. Is it safe to say it's like a seasonal?
So they have two seasons. So it's a summer season and the winter season. So it's 2 seasons, yeah, and the summer season starts April 1st and it ends September 30th. The winter season starts October 1st and it ends March 30th. 31st, I think. Yeah.
October to March. So,
Mm-hmm.
2 seasons, October to March, winter,
Summer and winter.
April to September, summer. Good. All right. Can you walk us through the steps? If I am interested, or somebody who's on the platform listening now is interested in coming on a H1B or H2B. Sorry, guys, I'm just gonna say H1B because that's my niche, because that's what the teachers come on. But today's for H2B.
Right.
Shanna, I will talk about teachers later on, but we're focusing today only on, not only, sorry, I'll talk about H1B for teachers later, but the focus right now is H2B. So if somebody's on the platform now listening and they're interested to come and be a cook or to work in a hotel, what is the process they would take? Can you walk us through the step-by-step process on how to apply for this H2B visa?
Sure. So you can go through an agency or you can apply independently. So the process of this visa is that first thing, an employer has to have a certain type of need. So they have to have, as you mentioned, a seasonal need. They have to have maybe a peak load need, a one-time need. Also, the process is they file petitions a couple months or a few months before the start date. So if the start date is October 1st, they have to file that petition and get it approved before they can actually hire workers out of country. And in this case, I'm going to talk about first timers because anyone who is in their home country right now on the live, they would be considered a first timer as long as you've never done this before and you've never traveled. So once they have that documentation from the USCIS and the US Department of Labor, they can petition for you. So you would reach out to these employers using websites, and yeah, using websites that are available, if you're doing this independently. Or what you can do is go to a registered agency in your home country and sign up with them to and let them know your interest in applying for H2B job. Once you've signed up, if you're signing up with an agency, once you've signed up, they will take care of the process for you. They probably call you and have you get registered and they'll take it from there. But if you're looking to do this independently, which you can, which I did, and many other persons, we seek out these employers on these sites. We use certain tools, and more in-depth information can be found in videos that I share. So we use these tools that we have access to, and we reach out to these employers via email a telephone call, or we go on their company website because most times they will have the seasonal positions listed there. We reach out to them, depending on their eligibility to hire out of country or whatever. Then we will keep in contact with them, and they will take us through the process. Sometimes they work through an agency, but some employers will recruit you on their own and then send you to their agencies to process your visa. Some employers don't work with a middle person, which is the agency in this case, any at all. So what they will do is they will send you the petition that you need to do your visa process. You have the option of going to an agency to process the visa, or you can do it yourself.
Okay,
After
good.
and
So,
sorry, after that, then details about like plane fare and how to get you to the United States will follow. But that's basically the process.
so you mentioned you can do it two ways. You can
Mm-hmm.
do it directly by applying directly to the employer,
Mm-hmm.
or you can go through an agency. Can you tell us some of the agencies? Do you have names of agencies that they could go through? And I know we have people not only from Jamaica here,
Right.
but if you know agencies outside of Jamaica, you can share those as well. But I'm going to assume most of the agencies you know are in Jamaica. Is that correct?
Yes, but I do know a few agencies that are some are US based and some in different
All right, great.
countries.
So can you tell us some of the name of those agencies, and I'll just put them in the comment section?
Sure. So let me give you just a couple from Jamaica first. So in Jamaica, what agency that I would recommend, first and foremost, if you guys want to know agencies that are approved to hire workers for H2B, you can go on the Ministry of Labor of Jamaica, their website. It shows you all the registered agencies to recruit. So Skill Staffing Solutions and Ocherius is, I would recommend them. You have Henry Duncan in Montego Bay. So
You say what was the first one?
so Skilled Staffing Solutions. They're in Ocherius.
I missed the first word again.
Sorry, Skilled.
Oh, skilled.
Yeah, Skilled Staffing Solutions.
Okay. Skilled staffing in Montego Bay?
No, in Ocherius.
In Ocherius, Jamaica. Okay.
Then you have Henry Duncan in Montego Bay. And I think that is J&H Recruitment Agency. Henry Duncan, he's the owner. So it's J&H Recruitment Agency.
Okay.
Then you have Faith Placement Services in Kingston.
Faith Placement in Kingston.
And Adnil Services in Westmoreland.
Spell that?
Adnil, Adnil.
Adlin Services.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So those are a few, for those who are in Jamaica and interested in H2B, those are a few in Jamaica. What about other countries?
So you have Petrina Group. I'm not exactly sure where they are located, but Petrina Group, they can go on their website and try to get in touch with them. You also have Alliance Abroad. I think they're located in if they're not located in Florida, they have, I think they have an office in Mexico. Yeah.
I've heard about Alliance Abroad before.
Yeah.
You said something about Petrina. I didn't get that one. You said Petrina?
Petrina Group, yeah.
Petrina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you say you don't know where Petrina Group is located?
I am not 100% sure. Maybe they're US based, but I can tell you about Petrina Group, Alliance Abroad, and I think H2 um Advocate. I'm not 100% sure, but there is this website. I think. Well, hold on. You have JKJ Workforce Agency. I'm not sure where that is located as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a lot. That's a lot. If they need more, as I mentioned earlier, you can always go over to our website and get more information on agencies in Jamaica. She did list one that's in the United States. If you're outside of Jamaica and you want to reach out to Alliance Abroad to see if you can get one of these unskilled jobs, you can do that. Certainly, if she gets more information about agencies in other countries, she will be sharing that on her YouTube channel. So you
Right.
definitely want to go ahead and subscribe to her YouTube channel, which is Inspired by Teja. I did share it in the link earlier. All right, so those are some of the agencies. Now, if like some people don't like to go through the middle person, they want to go direct to the job. They want to go directly to the employee, they want to go directly to the person who's employing them. What are some of these companies? And you mentioned softwares that you can use to find these jobs. Can you share or shed some light on that for us?
Sure. So some of these companies, it's a lot of companies, but to give you an example, you have Yellowstone Club in Montana. You have um a lot of country clubs in Florida. I don't know the exact name for most of these companies because it's a lot, but they can go on seasonaljobs.dol.gov and they will see that's where the companies normally post. They don't post the .gov. And also, Seasonal Connect is another great platform where employers normally sign up with them and they post information about their company, the positions they normally recruit for, and the seasons they normally hire for, as well as job positions and all of that stuff.
Okay, so you say Yellowstone Club, seasonaljobs.dol.gov, and Seasonal Connect. You did mention one in Florida, but I didn't get that one.
So there's a lot of companies in Florida. So Yellowstone Club is actually a company, but if I should go ahead and mention companies, so I'm giving them the way how they can go and find the companies or see more of these companies that are hiring.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Good. So, guys, if you are enjoying what's being shared so far, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up because I'm sure a lot of you would not be aware of how to get these information. Go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget, if you have questions, we will be having a question and answer section at the end. I know somebody was saying, and I know somebody was asking, oh, this is not about teaching. This one is for unskilled workers who are interested to get a seasonal opportunity in the United States. So if you are unskilled and you need to come to the United States to teach, she said between 0 to 6 or sometimes 8 or 10 month contracts, then this video is for you. We will get into talking about teaching at the end, but let's first talk about the unskilled way. The way to get the unskilled visa petition done for you if that's your interest, H2B visa. She mentioned earlier it's a what type of visa you say it is?
H2B. It's unskilled.
You
Non-immigrant, yeah. Non-immigrant.
It's a non-immigrant visa. So I'm learning while I'm going, guys. It's a non-immigrant visa that will allow you to work in the United States in either of two seasons, whether it is summer season, which usually starts April 1 and ends September, or the winter season, which starts October 1 and ends in March. So if you are an unskilled worker and you're interested in working in the United States, you definitely need to do some more research and also follow Teja on. She's on YouTube, she's on IG, and she's on TikTok. And most of our platforms, you can find her Inspired by Teja. Let's get straight into the other questions. You did tell us about some type of jobs. You say cooks. I know somebody was asking about what about dishwashers?
Yes.
They do
all of back of house, front of house. It can include all of these. All of
Okay.
food and
All right.
beverage and
So my next big question, and I'm sure they want to know, what are the main requirements? Do they ask for like credentials? What is it they ask for? How do they know? What do you have to prove to these agencies or companies that you are eligible to do this job or these jobs?
so because it's an unskilled visa, it's not the basic requirement is most times high school diploma or once you've graduated high school. But as so far as like certifications and stuff, they do not require any of those, even though the most they would require is experience. And because it's getting so difficult as it relates to H2B, because a lot more persons know about it, they persons who have extensive experience, they might have a better chance. So all you need to have is, sometimes they don't require experience, but most times you need to have experience, and that's basically it. There is no certifications required, no degree or anything like that.
All right. So you hear it, guys. No degrees. You just need to have a high school diploma, have some form of experience, and get with the process if that's something you're interested in. You're welcome, Isaac. Thank you for joining. All right, so you did give us a little synopsis about the process.
Mm-hmm.
Did say, for example, if the season started in October, the employer needs to apply for the labor certification. Now, give us, I know you wouldn't know the full details, but if somebody's interested to come for the season, the winter season, how soon should they start applying? Because how long is the labor certification process? So how soon should they start applying?
So the labor certification process on the employer's end, it can take up to 3 months because, for example, for the summer season, an employer will file start in January. They submit their H2B applications the first week of January. So when they submit those, they know like within like a week they know which group they fall into and if they're able to hire first timers out of country or whatever. Once they know that, then you can apply as soon as that time. So we normally tell persons to apply as early as possible, and I think the earliest time or the best time is in January when these applications are being filed.
Okay, so basically, while the employer is applying for the labor certification, you who's interested in a job can apply to this employer
Mm-hmm.
to make sure your application is in early. All
Yeah.
right. Um, can you share with us what are your experiences since you've been? Because we know, as you mentioned earlier, that you have worked on the H2B visa several times now. What have your experience been like?
Um, I have had different experiences. I mean, it all depends. I've had very good experiences, and I'm not gonna say I've had like bad experiences. It's just sometimes everything is not gonna be, the way we expect.
Mm-hmm.
So my experience, I've worked with a number of companies. I've liked some places I've liked, some places not so much, but you kind of give and take when it comes down to HUB, because you come here, you have to live with people, you have to learn how to coexist with different type of people, different cultures as well, and different expressions. So you have to learn how to just blend in with everyone and just be acceptable of different backgrounds and ethnicities. So, my experience, my first experience was actually good. To be honest, it didn't start out well, but I kind of conditioned my mind that it's not so the expectation I had, it didn't meet my expectation. But when I removed the expectation, then I started to like and I started to be more comfortable. in the job with at the place that I was and everything. And I actually got to realize that it was very, very good and a lot better than most persons experience. So you experience different things when you're here, but it's all up to you. So once you can make the best of it, then your experience will be fine.
All right. So, um, you mentioned also that the seasons. Is it possible for somebody to work winter season and summer season?
Definitely, because there are extensions that because even though you come on a contract, probably 6, 8, 10 months, you have the option of extending because an H2B worker can extend up until 3 years in the United States at one time,
Oh,
at
I
a
did
set
not know
time.
that. That's something I'm just learning. So you can come for the summer season, and
Mm-hmm.
if your employer has the availability, they have, the need for you, you can stay with them for up to 3 years.
Not
That's what you're saying.
necessarily with them, but if they do both seasons, because some employers they just do summer, some just do winter, and some do both. But it depends. So normally it's not with the same employer because sometimes you don't have that option, but you can extend with different employers.
Okay.
Hmm.
I know that the H1B, and this doesn't go for teachers, with H1B, other from teaching, there's an H1B cap. Is there a cap for H2B visas?
Yes, there's a cap. It's capped at 66,000 each fiscal year, and it's cut in half 33,000 for both seasons.
Good. So that's definitely a reason why, if you're interested, you need to apply early.
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. All right. Are there strategies that employers use to? Is it that employers are reaching out, or you basically need to reach out, or I'm trying to find out if somebody, for example, if you work for an employer before and a season has ended, but you went home, are there instances where your employer reached back out and say, "Hey, we'd like you to come back to work for this season," stuff like that?
Most definitely. That's what a lot of employers do. And you have workers that are going to the same employer for over even 20 years. So,
Wow.
yeah. So it's there's no age limit to H2B. You just have to be 18 years old. Also, you if you do go home, your employer will um if you do your best, your employer will reach out back to you and say, they'd like you to come back. Sometimes they'll let you know even before you leave for home. They will let you
Yes.
know.
All right. All right. That sounds really good, guys. Again, if you're enjoying what you're hearing, go ahead and start giving this video a thumbs up. She did answer the question that was asked. If there's an age limit, and she said no, you just need to be 18, and as long as you're fit and healthy, and you
Right.
can do the job, then H2B might be for you. Somebody said, how soon can I apply for the winter season? The winter season starts October. So I know she gave an example. The summer season starts in April and you apply in January. So when would you say it would be a good time to apply for the winter season since it starts in October?
So it's already started, and the best time for winter is like around July or
July.
June. Hmm.
All right. Sounds good. All right. How does the extension work? My next question. So you say if you're here, you come on a 6-month contract, it
Hmm.
can be extended. How does the extension work? Do you need to go home, or what happened for you to get that extension?
You still stay in the United States, and they will still file the same petition. It's just that the process is a little bit, it's not, I wouldn't say different, it's just easier. So they will submit the same application for H2B, but when they're doing their application, they will select in country instead of out of country. And that way it processes easier, and they will give you what is called the I-797, and that is what would be your actual visa since you are here and there's no way to get a stamp in your book.
So you give you a piece of paper.
Yeah, you have
USCIS,
the I-797. That is
USCIS
your
send you a piece of paper say you're approved to stay in
Mm-hmm.
the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what options are there? What if somebody came on H2B and they decide they want to stay in the United States after their visa expires? Are there options where they can transfer to a different type of visa, for example, the H1B visa or a green card?
I think there is options for that. I think they can also change the student visa, which is I think the F1, because I've heard persons who are actually looking to do that and persons who did that. So yes, there are options, but it's not like a way that you can get a green card, like unless you would get married, or but there are other visas. There's other green card visas that are there.
Okay, all right. Well, what advice would you give to workers who want to transition from H2B to another status? What advice would you give from your experience? Because you say you've been doing this since 2021, you said?
2022.
From 2022.
Hmm.
What advice would you give to someone who want to transition from H2B to another visa status, any visa status?
I would say go for it. Just do proper research because the information is out there. That's how I obtained knowledge about the whole process. That's how a lot of persons that started out with me when we were applying. That's how we got a hold of the information. I would say do extensive research. Ask questions. If you can get an immigration attorney to guide you if you don't understand certain things and certain decisions that you have to make. But as long as it's best for you and it's for the betterment of you, just try it. But just research because the information, it's there.
So you definitely need to do your research, guys. Um, I know a lot of people want to hear about salary. We are going to touch on salary. You don't need to give us specific details, but this is a roundabout figure. Before we go to that, can you share with us tips for workers? What if somebody come to work on that H2B visa? What tips or advice would you give them? I say this because when teachers come on the J1 visa, for example, they can only work for the person who sponsored the J1 visa. They cannot work for another employer. There are
Okay.
certain rules that guide them. Can you share with us some tips you would give to people coming on the H2B, and if there are rules that guide or that they have to adhere to while on the H2B visa?
Yes, there are rules. It's the same similar process. You can only work for the employer that petitioned for you. Yeah, there is no well, it's not allowed for H2B workers to have second jobs. Tips that I would give workers is if you come here with your employer and it's not to your liking, like right away, and but if you see where you can work through it and if you can work it out and just go through the season, then do that. Don't just leave your job, because then your employer has a responsibility to report to
Yeah,
USCIS. So you don't want to do that, as well as just come do your job to the best of your ability so that your employer, say for example you come in the summer season and you work really good, and your employer can recommend you to some winter properties. So at least if you're planning on doing extensions, you will have a summer property and a winter property to go each time, instead of sometime you're always just seeking and searching to find somewhere else. So just make the best of your experience and do your best. Be careful of other people, because there are racist people. There are people that, this is America. It's a lot of things to consider. So just be
yeah.
vigilant and be very careful, and be careful of the company you keep as well.
Awesome. Good advice. So, I know everybody wants to hear about salary. We know it's seasonal, but what is like the roundabout figure or hourly rate? How is it that seasonal workers are paid, and are they entitled to do overtime?
So yes, they are entitled to do overtime, and it's time and a half. The hourly rate, it depends on the job. But anywhere from, I'd say, you have jobs as low as $11, 12, 14. It depends. You have some cook jobs that are $20, 18, 19. It all depends on the type of job, the field that you're in, whether you're in food and beverage, you're in housekeeping, you have landscaping jobs and all of that stuff. So it definitely depends. But when they go on that website that I mentioned and the jobs start to post, they will see the rates for each job hourly.
Okay. Oh, so they basically tell you the rate on the
Yeah,
websites.
every information is upfront. Every info that you need, even rent, because we pay rent. So, housing information is there as well. Everything about the job is basically there.
And since you touched on housing, I know you mentioned earlier that you have to live with people. Can you explain what the housing situation is like for H2B? Um,
Yeah.
um,
So the H2B, they have dorms. Some employers have dorms. Some employers will have like a house, but it's shared housing. Sometimes you are sharing bathroom and kitchen, and even rooms. Sometimes it can be even up to six people in a room on bunk beds. So sometimes you go somewhere and you don't have to share rooms. Sometimes you go somewhere you don't have to even share bathroom or kitchen. It all depends. So just kind of be open-minded when it comes down to housing.
all right, awesome, good, good, good. Guys, we're coming to the question and answer section. I want to take the time to thank Taja for coming to share with us some very invaluable information today. If you're interested in getting one of these unskilled jobs in the United States, you definitely need to check out our YouTube channel. Follow her on IG, Inspired by Taja, to learn more. Now, if you have not liked this video as yet, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and share it with someone who might need this information. And if you have questions, go ahead and put your questions in the comment section below. So again, thank you, Taja. And we're going to give them a few seconds to get their questions in. And then we'll go straight to the question and answer section. All right, guys, it's your time. All right, we're back, guys. If there are questions you'd like to ask that I might have missed, go ahead and put those in the section, the comment section, so that we can get those answered for you. I know there were some questions while we were talking, and so I'll go back to see if I can find some of those questions as well. Let me check on IG. She says, what's the best pay range to accept for jobs like server, busser, food prep, and housekeeping? That's on IG.
Repeat the question.
What's the best, let me go back. What's the best pay range to accept for servers, bussers? I think those are people who take clean the table, food prep, and housekeeping.
So the pay, as I mentioned before, the pay range, it can be different. So it depends on each state, because each state minimum wage is different, and they will judge it off the minimum wage, because the employer has to do a prevailing wage determination. They have to file a prevailing wage to ensure that we are getting paid similar to what the Americans are being paid, because that is a rule of H2B. So with serving and some of the bussers and those front of house jobs, they normally are tipped positions. So the hourly rate, sometimes it's not very high. It can be like $6, $7, $4, something. but tip is what actually pay you and commission. So I can't really tell you a rate, and I'm not in food and beverage. But for housekeeping, it depends on the state, as I mentioned, but it can range from like $12 up to even $22 or $25, some states. It just depends.
All right, good. So basically, as she mentioned, similar to teaching, it's going to be dependent on the state and what their rates are and the cost of living in that state, and especially
I'll
the
be coming to
area
your
which the
guys' questions
property
at
is in.
more closer
She
to the
said,
end. So
how
just bear with
easy
me.
is the process to extend your visa, and how cooperative the employer are during this process? How easy and cooperative is the process to apply for the extension while you're on H2B?
So for extensions, I can tell you that this winter season, persons who came up summer and or persons overall who worked are working for summer and are looking to extend for winter, it has been a very difficult process this time around. But the employers are normally cooperative because just as how you would land your job to get here is the same way you would seek your extension jobs. Sometimes your employer, and they don't have to, sometimes they're courteous enough to reach out to winter properties or different properties for the other season on your behalf. And they sometimes they will have job fairs as well. And companies, different companies would come to your job and host like a job fair and interview you and try to give you a job for the next season. But most times it's that this is all dependent on you, so you have to put out that effort to actually secure your extension.
And Shane asks, can a person do two jobs?
No, it's not allowed for H2B. It's actually illegal. You only can
So,
work for the employer that petitioned
so
for
you
you.
only work for your employer.
Hmm.
All right, all right. So we have some more questions here. Someone says, what are the age requirements?
So the age requirements, it's as long as you're 18 years old, because I know like 65-year-olds who are still working on H2B. So
Wow.
as long as you're 18. Some agencies, though, tell you that you need to be 21. And if you're going to be in jobs that you're serving alcohol, like bartenders, some servers, and stuff like that, you would need to be over 21. Because in the US, you have to be of that age to serve alcohol.
Okay. All right. What if my last time traveling on the H2B was 2017? Am I eligible to travel?
Yes, you are still eligible, but you would be considered a first timer still. So you would have to go through the same process to apply.
I'm a teacher. Is it possible to come to US? I'm a teacher. Is it possible to come to USA on an H2B visa and later change to H1B or J1?
I am not sure what the process is, but I think it's possible. But don't take my word for it. If you need like further, I think to get a confirmation, you can reach out to an immigration attorney because I'm not sure exactly of what the process in changing your status.
So I would have to say to King Felix, like, if you are one of the skilled areas and you want to apply to come to that skilled area, I think that would be okay. But the process to transfer, that would be the next step that you'd have to research. But I'm thinking, for example, if you are skilled in cooking or housekeeping in your home country and you apply to do a seasonal job, then that's the thing you would put on your application to come to work. But to transition to H1B, J1, then that process, you'd have to definitely get other additional information to find out how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a very important part that I did not ask you when you say, must I pay for the process? Do do people need to pay for the H2B process? Are there fees attached to the H2B process?
The H2B program is free. However, an employer, because they're responsible for your even down to your visa fee. your plane fare and all of that stuff. But some way will ask you to pay that your visa fee up front, and probably in not most cases they will book your flight, but some will ask you to pay your visa fee up front and then you're reimbursed when you get to the US.
Oh, another thing I just learned. So it's free.
Yes, it's
The
free.
entire process is free. Even your
Mm-hmm.
plane fare and
Visa
your
fee.
visa application is paid by your employer.
Yes.
Beautiful. I did not know this. All right. Do I need a resume for this? Do I need a resume if I'm going to apply for the H2B process? I think that's what he's asking.
Yes, you need a resume, and as that question is being asked, I do resumes and all of those stuff. If they want, they can reach out to me, and follow my YouTube and Instagram. But yes, you need a professional resume. So when you had asked what do they need when they're going to apply, I should have mentioned the resume. First, you need a professional resume constructed properly, not the basic resumes that we know about, but a resume detail explaining listing your experience. And yeah, you need a professional resume to apply, because that is what you will use to apply to these employers and these jobs.
All right, good, good. So again, you can follow her on her different social media platform. I typed it again in the comment section. Inspired by Taja. She's on YouTube as well as IG and TikTok. Shane is asking, and he was the person who asked if he could have two jobs, but then he's saying if you were sponsored by another company, can so I guess he's asking, can two different companies sponsor you H2B visas?
That is not, no. So if you there's nowhere for you, there's no way you can come with a specific employer and work for another employer. That's not how the process goes. You can only work for the employer that petitioned for you
Okay.
at a given time, unless that employer is going to petition for you and you're going to transfer and leave this job once you are on another approved petition, and you can go work for that person. But there's no way that you can be working with the two companies at the same time. No.
Somebody's asking, how much hours do you work per day?
It depends on the job that you have, as well as they mention hours. It depends on the position, but there's a minimum that the an employer should offer you, and in some it depends on the state, I think, but it's 32 to 35 hours minimum per week.
All right. So Felix was asking this question. I don't know if you want him to reach out to you so you can get further details. And Assign is asking for your Instagram account. I know it's inspired by Taja. Is there an underscore in your Instagram account?
I think so, yeah. Inspired underscore by underscore Tasia.
Okay. All right. So I sent that Hassan.
Yeah, and Felix can reach out via Instagram as well, as it relates to the
Okay.
resume.
All right, go ahead, Felix. Reach out to her and you can get more details on that. Are there any other questions? Which would you prefer? Randomization list, seasonal connect, or seasonal jobs? And which is more effective?
So all of those platforms or all of those tools are beneficial in the process of applying. So to learn how to use those tools, I have videos explaining how to use them, but everything intertwines and works together to help you with applying. So you will need the randomization list because it shows you eligible to hire, whether out of country or not. So you can know if you are a first timer, okay, I'm not going to apply to this company because they didn't fall in a good group. The seasonal jobs website is where all the jobs will post, and that's how you would actually reach out, maybe get an email address or information about each company. And then seasonal connect, before all of this information is available on either the list or the website, seasonal connect lets you know which employers are possibly going to be recruiting for the upcoming season.
All right, sounds good. All right, so I'm not seeing any more questions, so we're gonna wrap up. For those or more questions. What's the best price range? I think one should look for rent. If one decides to leave and rent their own, can they? If you decide not, I guess she's saying if you don't decide not to stay with the people who are, their own little space, can you rent on your own? And I know she was asking if the pay that you're gonna get would it be able to suffice for your rent and stuff like that.
Yes, it should. It should. But when you're accepting an offer, you have to take in consideration the bills that you probably will have. So all of this information will be presented to you before you make a decision, right? Before you decide to accept an offer. Yes, housing is not mandatory to be provided by an employer, it's optional. You have the option of seeking housing outside of what the employer provides. So yes, you can rent, but in most cases, maybe if you know someone that you are going to be there with, maybe three or four of you guys could rent an apartment and split the cost and all of that. But for your first time, you could possibly like come and work with the housing the employer provides, and maybe if you see a way where you can branch off, then you can. But housing, yes, you don't have to stay in the employer housing.
All right, good. She's saying, can you hint to the interviewer that you have under the table experience? Could it help in any way?
It could help, but it's not advisable for you to let them know, because you're telling them that you have been here working illegally, and that is a red
Yes.
flag for them. So I wouldn't
Right.
advise you to do that. No.
So if you have experience, you just have experience. You don't have to tell them if it's under the table or on top of the table. You just have the experience, right,
Right.
Teja?
Right. But if they go if it reaches a point where you have to go in depth, I think just avoid that altogether.
Which states are best to go in the two seasons? Zahavas. I hope I'm pronouncing this name properly, but Zahavas have a lot of questions. Which states are best to go in the two seasons?
So, best state. Well, it all depends on everyone's personal experience. But I've heard persons say that Massachusetts, that's Boston, that's good to go work. I don't know if it's summer and winter, but majority, or mainly in the summer season. Florida is a good state, and there are a lot of other good states. It's just the company itself, it's dependent on your job position. That's number one. The company itself, where they're located, and the minimum wage for that company. You have to take your rent into consideration when accepting an offer, because that will kind of give you an idea of how much you'll be able to make. Because if you're paying a high rent and you have a low paying job, then more than likely it's not so feasible.
Right, right. So there are a lot of things you got to take into consideration. Martha says California is a good state also. Martha sounds like, Martha, do you have experience on H2B as well? He's saying California is also a good state. It should be a good state because I'm going to assume it's going to be a very busy state and they will need seasonal workers. Am I correct, Teja?
There are some jobs that are in California that I've seen, but not so much like a lot of other states. But yeah, there are jobs in California. I mean, it's dependent on someone's personal experience. So maybe that person have had or had a good experience working there. Because I think the hourly rate is high, but also cost of living is another thing to take into consideration.
Yes, yes, yes. Zahava says I planned for this. Yes, that's the right thing. You knew we were coming, so I don't mind your questions. Go ahead and shoot your questions. That's why we advertise first so you can prepare your questions. Awesome. Shane is asking, are you charged by the employer to stay in the housing?
Yes. Yes, it normally it comes out of your paycheck.
Okay, so it's not free. You don't live well. We should know this by now. You don't live in
Colorado is a good state to
you
me.
can
Maine is
live in your
also
own
good. I'm not sure
country.
about
Once
Alabama.
you're in America, you're gonna pay them bills now.
Yep.
You're gonna pay those bills. Zahabas is asking, how can you know which employers are best to apply for? I want to have the best experience.
I think I think your best experience, it depends on you individually.
Yes.
You know, you cannot I wouldn't say listen to someone else's experience, because there are persons who said to me, when I was just trying for H2B, I got two offers, one in New York and I got one in Michigan. Housekeeping, and there was a food and beverage role in New York. And persons were saying, go to New York because housekeeping is hard and this and that. But I actually, and the New York, it turned out that the New York offer, it wouldn't be as how persons were saying it, making it out to be. And the Michigan offer that I actually accepted, it turned out to be one of the better places that I've worked. So
See? So every experience is different,
it's
guys. You'll
different.
not know until you actually put that foot forward and
True.
get that experience going. And the first experience might not be your best, but don't give up. That's all I can say. All right. I think we have all the questions answered. Again, I'm going to talk briefly about this platform for those who are new to this platform. My name is Dr. Britton. And on my platform, I do share how you can get a teaching job here in the United States.
If you guys are interested in getting a teaching job, H1B,
where I provide a lot of guidance on how you can start the process to teach in the United States. Also, if you have gone through all those videos and you're still confused, I do provide one-on-one sessions where I can guide you through the process. One-on-one session, if it's a one-time session, you just need information on how to move forward.
Yes, Samantha. I will get to you guys questions soon.
Where you can be guided throughout the process. Please take note that these come with a fee. Just to backtrack, on my YouTube channel, it's free. All the information shared on my YouTube channel and my IG, it's free. But if you need me one-on-one personally, then that attracts a fee, and you can get that service through supremacyconnect.com. I'm putting that in the comment section, supremacyconnect.com. All right, so if teaching is what you wanted to hear about, for those who are asking earlier, definitely check out my YouTube channel, Kicking with Dr. Britton, and you can learn a lot by just viewing those videos. Now, if I have no more questions for Teja, and I'm not seeing any on business teacher, I'm a teacher too. Oh, you're a business teacher.
If I could just also briefly say, Dr. Britton, so for persons who are or who will be interested in applying for the upcoming season, which starts the summer season, that would be, since winter has already started, that would be summer. I will be opening up my WhatsApp group where we do one-on-ones in that group. There's a fee to join, of course. I also do one-on-one. I do visa application process and H4 visa application for persons to take their spouse or their child here with them on the H2B visa. I think H1B has that H4 visa too, right?
You say what?
The H4 visa.
The H4 visa goes with the H1B for teachers.
Yes, it also applies.
For H2B?
Yes, it also applies to H2B as well. All the H category.
H2B workers can bring their family with them?
Yes, their spouse, if married, and their child or children.
Oh, I did not know this.
Yes. So yeah, so my WhatsApp group will be open. Persons can just follow my YouTube and Instagram, where I will provide updates on when I'm reopening that group, because I'm planning to start out early for the summer season so that we will have a head start, because a lot of persons are applying, thousands of persons. As you mentioned as well, Dr. Britton, there might be persons from my platform who are interested in probably trying for the H1B, and I will be sharing that information. You said keeping up with Dr. Britton, or kicking with
Dr. Britton.
Kicking with Dr. Britton is her YouTube handle. She's on Facebook. She's on IG as well, and TikTok. So you guys can feel free to reach out to her if you're interested.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, guys, we've come to the end. Again, go ahead and follow and get more information from Teja. Somebody's asking, what's the WhatsApp group? I think it's the EB2 visa, EBT visa is EBT.
EBT?
EBT is, I don't think EBT is a visa. EBT, that's our card.
I know EB3, you have EB.
EB3, EB, yes, employment based, but
Yeah.
not T. What was I saying? If you've not followed Tejas yet, go ahead and do that, guys. And we're going to be signing off now. Thanks for coming. Again, if you did not like this video, go ahead and give that thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not subscribed to this channel as yet. And don't forget to share this video. And we will see you next time. All right, guys. Do you have any last words you want to share with them, Teja?
The upcoming season is summer and it will start April 1st, 2025. There are um there are employers who will be doing their recruitment early because it gets harder each time. So if you are interested, you can start applying early. I have videos telling you the process on my channel, but if you want to be a part of the exclusive WhatsApp group that I have, you can feel free to reach out to me so that we can get started for summer. But that's all.
Someone was asking how they can contact you, so I told them on YouTube or on IG, Inspired by Teja. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes, on Instagram, Inspired by Teja.
Okay, so YouTube and IG, that's Nesavan. YouTube and IG, Inspired by Teja. All right? All right, guys, that's it. Bye. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Hi guys. So I will be answering your questions. Hold on. Let me just put this here. Yeah, so I will be answering the questions that you guys had. Let me see if I can go back. So persons are asking mostly about the WhatsApp group and the fee that it will be to join. I will, once I've confirmed, because as I mentioned in a video that I did earlier, my WhatsApp group I currently have for summer, I am going to be keeping most of those persons. I'm still deciding, keeping most of those persons, and we are just moving forward for summer. I know Aunt Tage Maggie, she mentioned that she has been following my channel and she wants to join the group. So yes, I prefer if these persons are experienced with following the information and all of that. It makes it easier when we do move to a group setting. Yes, Antage, I will be, just message me on Instagram. So for persons interested in joining the group, there will be a small fee to join the group, and I will disclose that information on my Instagram page. I will be posting it in the stories so you guys can follow up. I will also, once the information about the group is available, I will do a live, and while we're on live, I will post it on Instagram as well, and that's how I can notify you guys properly about the group. The group, I'm hoping to start the group next month. I'm hoping to start the group like ending of November, middle towards ending of November, hopefully. So if you guys are interested in the group, just reach out to me when the time is right, please. I will post it and post instructions so you guys can follow. So as long as you're following the Instagram page and as long as you are following YouTube and keeping up with the YouTube page, you guys won't miss it, I promise. Okay? So if you guys have questions, you can ask them now so I can go ahead and answer those for you. Hi, Patrice. And guys, if you haven't subscribed as yet, please subscribe so that you don't miss anything. I know I've been MIA, but I am promising, I'm making a promise, God's willing, life spare, God's willing, that I will be coming on here more often, even to do the live streams, so that you guys can be updated because it kind of sucks when you have nowhere to get the information from and nobody is really saying anything. Because other than the websites and all of that stuff, it's kind of good to have a platform that shares this information where you guys can get familiar with. Am I right or am I wrong? So Dree, YT, I wouldn't say it's too late for winter because a lot of employers are still, they still have some slots available even though the season has started, but it's not too late. If you have been applying, I would say just hope for the best. But winter has been tough. But for summer, we are, God's willing, we're just planning to put our best foot forward. And I will, hopefully, I will be having more time on my hands than I have now. So I will be able to focus and put a lot of effort into the group that I have. Returnees, I wanted to say something about returning workers. I will be I'm thinking of having a separate group for returnees because um starting next month it's gonna be the time for returning workers because there are some jobs that are specifically for returning workers. So just look out for that information. I will be doing a video soon regarding returning workers and sharing some information on how we're planning to help those returnees. Can petition be submitted during one's grace period? So Andre, you have the grace period. That the grace period that you get is the how long you can stay. If it's submitted that time, I'm not sure it will be approved before. Try getting your employer to submit before the ending of the contract, before you use the grace period, because I think once it's submitted before your contract ends, then you're good to go. I'm sorry. I'm a business teacher and my job is not in demand in the USA. Can you help? Vanessa Pinnock, if you are interested in applying for H2B, you can start by watching the videos. If you're new here, you can start by watching the videos on my channel. You can start from the older videos and come up. You can binge watch them and try to learn as much as you can. So when I post information about that group, then everyone can be on board. Hi, Kashara. Do you guys have any more questions for me? I want to shout out Dr. Britton because I love the work that she has been doing. You know, she's here, she's helping teachers, she's doing the same thing. And when you find persons like yourself that, sharing the information and just willing to help persons, then it's always good. Hello, Jadine. So to know when the group is up and running, I will post that information on. I first and foremost, once I finalize certain details about the group, I will go live on YouTube here and I will let you guys know all the details, right? As well as my Instagram page, I will post that information. I don't provide jobs, prophetic ministry. I don't provide jobs any at all. I don't give jobs. I don't, it's not a guarantee that, you know, I don't give jobs any at all. I share my experience and I share information and I help persons to obtain jobs. So my group is, I don't give jobs in my WhatsApp group. It's just to help you be more successful with applying. And in this case, whether independently or through an agency or whatever. Samantha, the call center experience can be somewhat useful. What about if you're signing up with an agency? Is it advisable? if there is no info from the agency to submit your application yourself. You can sign up with an agency. No, the the H2B job visa, it it I'm replying to prophetic ministry. It has caregiver jobs, a couple of caregiver jobs, but nursing, no. So back to you, Crystal. Um, when you say submit your application yourself, you mean just generally registering to an with an agency? Yes, it's hard to get positive responses. So see, Sean Powell commented that there's a company called FIB Academy, and they offer H2B jobs for certified CNAs. So, Crystal, are you referring to the visa once you get to the visa process about that is it that what you're saying, like submitting your visa application once you've obtained a job and everything from your employer? You referring to that? So, diamond takes, yes, it's hard um to get to register with most agencies, and yes, some of them will look for attorneys because if you have agencies that are working with certain employers for a number of years, these employers just always take their workers that they take every year. So sometimes that's the case. It's hard with the agencies, but you can just try every avenue, and what works works. Yes, you get social security. That's one of the first things you do when you get here. You do your social and you open a bank account. So, Crystal, yes, you can do the visa application on your own, as well as you can go to an agency with your petition and everything that you get from the employer for them to process it for you, as well as I process visa applications as well. It's not hard, and yes, you can do it yourself. When I am doing the visa application, I walk you through the process of doing it. So I share my screen and we do it together. That's how I do it when I'm doing it. I'm hungry. So if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and end the live in a couple of minutes. So just know that yes, I charge a fee to do the visa application. If I'm going to do it for you. So I charge $50 because the visa application fee at the embassy is $205. So all the process is when I do it, you see everything that I'm doing, and I charge $50 to do that application for you. Yes, Diamond takes some of them do keep a resume on file, you might never know. Yes, it's USD Crystal. So as I mentioned before, just follow the information, follow the channel, turn on your post notifications on Instagram as well. So if I post a story or if I make a post, you guys can see it. And what we can try to do for this upcoming season is just try our best to see how successful we can be. It's not a guarantee, right, that if you join my group, you will get through. It's not a guarantee that if you even do the process on your own, that you would get through. It's not a guarantee that if you sign up with an agency, you would get through. But whatever makes your chance greater, then you do that because you don't have to join the group. There is videos on my channel that explain the process in full detail. So yes, Ministry of Labor, you can sign up with them. Yes, sometimes it's links. It all depends though. So if you guys have no more questions, thank you for joining. Thank you for taking the time out. Also remember to put God first, because if it's not in God's will for it, then it cannot happen. So just keep praying and just keep hoping for the best. Thank you guys and have a good night. Remember to like this video, share, and subscribe to my channel.